morning, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to this extraordinary general meeting. And we'll start by singing the national anthem. Can we all rise up, please? Please.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. Most especially, we thank you for life, for the gift of life that you have given to every one of us. Father, accept our thanks and praises in the name of Jesus. Our Heavenly Father, we have gathered. Jehovah, come and direct the affair of this meeting. Take control and give us wisdom so that at the end of the day, we'll have full cause to glorify your holy name. And when we are going back home, you will give us journey mercy in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Father, for in Jesus' mighty name we pray.
What's your name, please? Distinguished shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, men of the fourth rank of the Republic. It is with great pleasure I welcome you to this extraordinary general meeting of our great company, which has been convened and properly constituted. I thank the shareholders for your orderly conduct and observance of the safety guidelines is to prevent the spread of COVID-19 quickly. This EGM is being streamed live on our Facebook page for the benefit of shareholders, regulators, and other stakeholders who are not able to attend the meeting physically. Some of our directors are also joining via Zoom. I call on Ogudeki. I confirm the register of members is available for inspection as statutorily required. I will now introduce my colleague on the board, present, the company secretary, representative of the regulatory authority present, registrars, the external auditors, shareholder representative here present. From my extreme right is we have D.E. Ashiru, Mobolaji Ashiru, Executive Director. We have Femi Ashenuga, Managing Director. We have Soyola Tunji to my extreme left, non-executive director. And our able company secretary, I will ask the people at the other end to please introduce themselves.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Omuji Bonaventure from Nigeria Service.
Thank you, distinguished shareholders. I now read the notice and the agenda for the meeting. Notice of Extraordinary General Meeting. Notice is hereby given that the Extraordinary General Meeting of Mutual Benefits Assurance PLC will be held at the Shiva Center, 20, Mobolaji Park, Anthony Way, Ikeja, Lagos, from Thursday, the 3rd of December 2020 at 9 a.m. to transact the following business, special business. To consider and if thought fit to pass the following with or without modifications as special resolutions. Increase in share capital. 1. The pursuant to Article 35 of the Articles of Association, The authorized share capital of the company be and is hereby increased from 10 billion naira to 10 billion and 50 million naira by the creation of 100 million ordinary shares of 50 kobo each ranking pari passu in all respects with the existing ordinary shares of the company. Number 2, the directors be and are hereby authorized to raise the additional capital via the issue of debt or equity or a combination of both, including redeemable convertible bonds, loan stock, bonds with options, whether by way of private placement or otherwise, or by way of offer of subscription, upon such terms and conditions to be determined at the discretion of the directors and subject to any requisite regulatory approvals. 3. The amendment of the members. That the existing members of the company be and is hereby amended as follows. Clause 6 of the memorandum and clause 5 of the articles of association be altered by deleting the words the share capital of the company is 10 billion naira, divided into 20 billion ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, and substituted with, in quotes, the share capital of the company is 10 billion 50 million naira, divided into 20 billion 100 million ordinary shares of 50 kobo each. Number 4, private placement. That the directors be and are hereby authorized to raise additional capital of 4.8 billion naira by way of private placement of the ordinary shares of the company, the private placement. 5. That subject to obtaining the regulatory approvals, the private placement shall be by way of sale of 8 billion 808 million 808,889 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each of the company at the rate of 54 kobo per share, and subscribers to the private placement by Charles Enterprise LLC, who shall be subscribing to 5 billion 331 million 44 million 445 ordinary shares at the rate of 2 billion 878 million 764 naira 24 kobo. Awiwewe Farms Limited will be subscribing to 3 billion 357 million 844 million 444 units at the rate of 1 billion 921 million 235,999 naira 76 kobo. The total number of shares to be issued will be 8 billion 888 million 888,889 shares, making a total of 4.8 billion. Number 6, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to take such steps and to do such things, including appointment of professional parties and advisors, enter into any agreements, execute documents as may be required to give effect to the above resolutions. And the explanatory notes follow. The explanatory notes is that the National Insurance Commission, by circular reference NICOM DPR/CIR/25 of 2019, dated the 20th of May 2019, raised the minimum paid up share capital of insurance companies providing general business to 10 billion naira. The company seeks to raise additional capital to meet the new minimum share capital prescribed by the regulator. Given the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the world economies and negative investment sentiment in the stock market, the company has decided to raise the additional capital required by way of private placement of its ordinary shares to some existing substantial investors who have indicated their readiness to commit further investment into the company to meet the new minimum regulatory capital. Further notes include the compliance with COVID-related directives and guidelines. In view of COVID-19 pandemic, the containment measures and guidelines put in place by the federal government, Lagos State government, health authorities and regulatory authorities. The convening and conduct of this EGN shall be done in compliance with these directives and guidelines. And I can see that we are maintaining social distance, we are all wearing our face masks, hand sanitizers and washing of hands have been provided. Proxy. A member entitled to attend and vote at the extraordinary general meeting is also entitled to appoint a proxy to attend and vote in his or her stead. The proxy need not be a member of the company. To be valid, a proxy form must be completed and duly stamped by the Commissioner of Stamp Duty and returned to the registrar, Medistem Registrars and Probate Services Limited, 213 Abatmakoni Way, Adekunle, Jaba, Lagos, or by email to info@medistemregistrars.com, not less than 48 hours before the time of the meeting. Questions from shareholders. Shareholders and other holders of the company's securities reserve the right to ask questions, not only at the meeting but also in writing, prior to and after the meeting. Please send all enquiries to investorrelations@mutualng.com, and indeed we've received some questions. Number 4, broadcast of the EGM. The EGM is being streamed live on our Facebook page to our shareholders and other stakeholders who are not able to be physically present at this venue to participate in the proceedings. The link to the for viewing the broadcast is available on our website www.mutualng.com. A copy of this notice and information relating to the meeting can be found on our website www.mutualng.com by order of the board, Jide Elisari, Company Secretary. The notice is dated the 6th day of November 2020. Thank you.
Thank you. May I just take the opportunity to acknowledge our directors who are joined online. We have Dr. Eze Bube, all the way from Puerto Rico, US. We have Ms. Idra Ahmed joining online. You're welcome. I would like to inform all members that the public address system is being used to ensure that everyone can hear, at the same time record proceedings. I would therefore implore you to speak clearly into the microphone whenever you wish to make a point or second a motion, and to commence by stating your name. Each member can second motion presented at the meeting. There will be another opportunity for questions on that particular motion only before the vote on it is taken. The number of our shareholders have sent in their proxies ahead of this meeting in view of the health protocols for prevention of the spread of COVID-19. Voting will be by show of hands and the proxies received. I will now call on the registrars to present the proxy report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 484,522 units of mutual benefit assurance. This represents 58.61% of the total shares. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, distinguished shareholders. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol. I want to draw us back to the circular issued by NICOM on the 20th of May 2019, directing all operators in the market to show up their capital for general business from a minimum of 3 billion to 10 billion, and 2 billion for life to 8 billion, and for composite companies from 5 billion to 18 billion, and the same thing was also extended to the insurance
sub-segment of the industry. At this point, three major options were available to the company for raising capital. There was the option of rights issue, public offer, and we also had the option of private placement. Out of these three various options, because I also want to remind us that the regulator gave an ultimatum of about 12 months when the directive came out, so there was insufficient time. So out of these three options, your company was left with the option of private placement for a number of reasons. Number one, as I mentioned, time factor. Number two was the challenge of investors' apathy. This was well exhibited at the time your company went to the market in January 2019. The performance through rights issue was nothing to write home about. So we were left with rigorously pursuing the option of private placement. So in earnest, in the year 2019, we started discussion with a number of private equity firms, both locally and abroad, and we were making very good progress up till the month of February this year, when we saw the emergence of the pandemic COVID-19, which came to disrupt lives and also economies all over the world. So thereafter, we found that all our discussions were, scuttled, and it was very bleak. And at this point, your company was left with little option but to approach some of the existing key shareholders for a way out. And I must also mention to us that we, right from the onset, we had the intention of concluding our recapitalization of the company before the end of this year, 2020, and this position was made for a number of strategic reasons. We know the deadline has been extended to September 2021, but at the time that pronouncement was made, for us it was not an option for us to go into 2021 and still be grappling with the challenge of raising capital. So we planned right from the onset to wrap up the whole exercise in 2020 for us to use 2021 to focus deeply on the business, and again focusing on the business in 2021 we believe will also help us significantly in addressing some of the particular nagging issue that is often raised when we have shareholders engagement like this, and that is the payment of dividend. And we felt 2021, right from the word go, we should focus on the business without being part of those that are still running around raising capital. We believe this strategy will work for us. We are already even seeing the sign that it's going to work for us, and we are really intended on reversing this cost of things and begin to pay shareholders their dividends, because this is the major justification for your investment, in this company. And we just don't only want to pay for 2021. We also want to make it a consistent, practice of paying shareholders with dividends right from 2021 and beyond. So, for these reasons, we really ask for your support, in accepting the approach of your company and the report on the prayers raised today. So. Yeah. Well, so, an interesting fact also that I must not forget to mention is the fact that the shareholders are picking the shares for 54 kobo per share, which is more than double the market share of the price, the market price of the share rather. So this is also of immense advantage to your company. So I hope you will support the move by the board today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Managing Director. Agenda item 1. The fourth item on the agenda is to increase the share capital of the company from 10 billion to 10 billion 50 million naira by the addition of 100 million new shares of 54 each. I present the resolution to you and I will entertain some questions on the proposed resolution. Okay, sir. We'll take 5 questions. I said I got 5 questions. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, other directors of a great company, very distinguished shareholders. Good morning. My name is Okezia Boniface, the National Chairman, Progressive Shareholders Association Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, I want to commend this company to being proactive, not waiting on deadline, even that was extended to next year. The problem we have in this country is not issue of raising money. Those regulators and government are not helping these companies to operate. It has shown clearly that raising money is not a solution to our problem. In the past, we have raised money. When they say raise money, including the banking industry. But when you raise those money, have been addressed. Your regulator give out rules, martial policies for you to implement. But in their own side, they are not even helping you to actualize those programs. You say high-rise building, go and ensure it. Who will enforce it? The government. They have the police, the regulator. The government cannot go on their own to enforcing these things. It is not they are not going to do marketing, talking people to come in and embrace insurance. Including little top and ordinary motor insurance. Government are not enforcing it. Today we have worked out in all the local government issue papers. In most cases are fake. They are not encouraged to go to right source and obtain these things. So even when they stop at the road, they want to collect on their money to pass. So the whole problem resides on government and the regulators. That's the problem we're seeing. So it is not that government doesn't know what to do when they raise this money. But issue of utilizing those money appropriately and drive business, create opportunities, it pay hand dividend. Today, in the capital market, there are companies that are listed. Even those that are not listed in insurance are doing well, but are those listed because they don't want it to survive. And that is why the company can trade as low as 20 kobo. But small people bought this insurance sector 5 naira, 10 naira. But what are the price today? But even those that are paying dividend, have they paid for some rent, higher dividend than 5 kobo, 3 kobo, 2 kobo? And that's why they were lagging behind. And that's why there's apathy. Nobody can invest in the insurance sector. But the regulator have not addressed the fundamental issues to help this company to grow so they can meet the challenge of those who invested. They invested to help return dividend. But dividends that were paying, the ones are paying, are they demonstrate in what we invested? This is a problem why people are not investing in the insurance are running away. It is not that you today, those who have insured, those who are taking policy in you, that you are not meeting the obligation to your client. The whole back of business is trust and paying claims. And if those companies are paying claims promptly, they can stand the challenge of times. Because customers will come back to do business. Some insurance today are comatose who cannot even meet their challenges obligation to their client. They don't pay. So Mr. Chairman, there's issue problem in the sector. Not even giving you fire brigade approach. Press money, press money, press money, press money. So Mr. Chairman, there's a problem in the system. And the government are not listening, including the regulator, to correct these lapses. And Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you, even those investors now who want to invest. That really shows they have confidence in this mutual benefit. If you don't have confidence, you would have taken that money, they would have taken that money somewhere to invest, or maybe farming. Even the farming we are doing today, there's also a challenge in terms of security. Many have been slaughtered, they say 78, some say 73. But this is not number. How would Nigeria be killed like a chicken? Those are going to farm. Today, rice is about 40,000. You look at when you buy importation. So the local ones are more cheap, among higher than the imported ones. So there's no scope for you to go to farm. Pacemaker to rush you and buy you for going to farm. So where are we today? So every sector has been affected, suffering. And that's why no foreign or even local are coming to invest. Nigerian shareholders have suffered a lot in terms of these regulators. In banking, they say they are restructuring. And when they restructure, it's we who are affected mostly. And in some cases, this company will take it away from us. Mr. Chairman, don't say time. These are things I'm going to say. And when we're talking this issue, you will be taken off. You cannot challenge the regulators. You can't challenge them. You can't talk the way we are talking to them. It's few of us that can challenge them and talk. Let them say the SSS come and pick us up. We must tell them the truth. And that's what is working in this country. Mr. Chairman, if somebody, LCC, Royal Farm are not having to, will you invest? They can invest. So I want to commend the investors, even who have been not 54. What is the price today? 20 kobo. I did not 54. It's a good one. That shows that there's still hope and there's a future for mutual benefits. And I'm also challenging other shareholders to take advantage of low price and buy. Because after this capital by this year, and they see that mutual benefits are made it, the price will go up, and those who cannot wait for dividends can start selling. Mr. Chairman, I want to ask also that in terms of free float, today, what are we going to do? Because I want to also challenge those core investors that when times right, this you are doing well, you need to also offer for sale so that they can dilute what they are holding. We must take this into consideration. Free float is not affected at the end of the day. Because I know this time we are not planning to delist. Because when things come like this, they will not try to corner to delist. But these shareholders who have been stay with you thick and thin to reap their dividend, we will not ask to exit. Now because I cannot meet up the free float, let me exit. So what are we doing in that? That we want to still remain at the stock a listed company is very, very important. You need to tell us how to go about it. So the price is good. And I know at the end of the day there will be no reconstruction in terms of share restructuring. If you have polluted shares, that means dividend will not increase. We don't want to have, I can listen, we don't want to have about 10 or 5 kobo. No, we don't want to have that. So if you have a bundle of shares on issues, that will affect the payout and cost of dividend. So I want the committee to make proactive. Thank you and God bless.
It's not a cheerful moment for the shareholders and the management of mutual benefit. It's not. From the angle of knowledge, I know the chairman tried his best to get things going, but it's not the best because he is actually constrained. And his intention is for us to have something. That's why. Otherwise, when I had the privilege to talk to him, I totally disagreed on everything about the regulators and insurance policies. Mr. Chairman, it is very, very annoying that those who are regulating us, that has the power in the insurance sector, do not practice insurance in their places. these are people who will tell you that their religion does not believe in insurance. And they are the people who are dictating everything in the sector. It is just too bad. Too bad. I believe that whoever will be a regulator in the sector should also be a practitioner that partakes in that thing. 54 kobo is believing mutual benefit, whether you like it or not. Because it's not an offer in the public place. It is a private placement. For private placement, there are a lot of things that is being considered in giving out such chunk of shares to any company. It is the same, one of the insurance companies today is offering a bonus of 17 to 7. After that, they restructured and created a nominal value of 2 naira. And stock exchange is here to tell us whether they are going to change the system of 50 kobo nominal value or such company will delist from the exchange. We just have every opportunity to use it to protect our investment. Those who are putting in this amount of money, 4.8 billion naira, they understand what they are going to gain from it. They understand. Even government themselves as government, what class of insurance do they take? Majority of them take third-party insurance. That is what happens. And therefore, we must speak out. We just, in fact, I want to say very clearly that the leader of the commission, whether they call him Commissioner of Insurance or Insurance Commissioner, they've not helped this sector. I don't like having a chicken-hearted person in any system. The current Commissioner for Insurance is chicken-hearted. Why would you not look at things properly and take a decision? I have tried to talk to him severally. You cannot impose what your predecessor, who left the place with shame, is doing. What about this high capital? Was it planned by the directors? Any increase in capital or money raising that is not properly planned by the board of directors will create wastage. Because they are the people that knows what they want to use money for. But when you are imposing capitalization, the money will just come there and it will not be properly used. That's the issue. And by the way, what is insurance? Insurance is a consortium. At the end of the day, whether you have 20 billion capital, if business doesn't come your way, it doesn't come. It's as simple as that. If you have 200 insurance companies with 10 billion naira capital, all that they've been forced to get there, where is the total briefing policy in this country is how much? When people are deceiving us that they are going to oil, what do they call it? Oil and gas. PIB is in the pipeline for about almost 10 years now. That is where the potential is, PIB. But each year, the Senate will say, oh, we are going to approve it this year. The year will go. Next year, they will say we are going to approve it. That is where the insurance will be well pronounced. And how many of the oil and gas do we have? So for me, as a person, and I've discussed this with Hakim, insurance is a consortium. If there's a big ticket, you share it among yourselves. You reinsure. It doesn't mean that all of you must have 10 billion naira capital base in this impoverished country. If it were outside where you cannot move without a genuine insurance, your car, yourself, and everybody. Not like Boniface said, you go to local government, you have 200 naira, you get third party, and the government is not doing anything about it. The insurance group too are handicapped because they are not getting support from government. Is he asking who will go and challenge them? They will use knife to open his tummy. He will dare not do it. It is the responsibility of government to create stability in the system. So we are just going to take this because the regulators, they are what the Yorubas will call addicted. The regulators, I'm very sorry, my good young friend is there, but all the regulators are lepers. They are lepers. Give them the business to run mutual benefit, it will collapse. But they are there making policies, looking for fine. They cannot grow anything that they can destroy. That is the regulators, because one single statement now can destroy mutual benefit. And see, despite all the problems, they are still licensing insurance, new insurance companies. They are still licensing. During the course of this week, if you read your newspapers, you will see Sonny in Agbada handing over certificate to new insurance companies, while the problem continue to break down the old insurance companies. The chairman and his team will have no choice because of allowing this company to leave. We shall give you the request you are making. But I also noticed that the company secretary told us that there are hand sanitizers everywhere, but I've looked around. I did not see any. No, it should have been there. Look at this. Read what is there. It says, welcome. Use hand sanitizer. That's the problem with lawyers. They are the ones creating most of the problems in the environment. He said, there's hand sanitizer everywhere for us to use. I didn't see. Mr. Chairman, maybe that could be taken as a lighter mood, that is the reality. Mr. Chairman, as at yesterday, the President moved the finance bill to National Assembly. The finance bill is not helpful to shareholders. The finance bill is attacking all the companies directly or indirectly. The Minister of Finance said that the money they want to collect is a perpetual loan. I'm saying this, the aspect that affects shareholders, and we should be prepared for it. ISAN is doing what it can do in that respect. We've been to Abuja, we submitted papers to inform them that it's against the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria for you to take what does not belong to you. Then they are going ahead, and the next thing for them is to also attack balances of people in the bank. So I am putting you on notice that we are going to fight dirty on this issue. If you ask the lawyers, we cannot preempt the National Assembly, but we can take actions after they must have passed the thing. So I believe we have unclaimed dividend in our coffers, despite the fact that we have not paid dividend in the last few years. So it is very interesting that companies should help shareholders to fight this issue. Because at the end of the day, who pays the dividend? It is the companies. And any shareholder that wants his dividend will ask the company, and the company will refer such shareholder to the registrars. And it is only the money given to the registrars that the registrar can pay. I am bringing this to your knowledge. I recall that a few years ago, when SEC decided that 15% should be left with the registrars, some of us kicked. 10. Some of us kicked because the destination of dividend from the company, the entire dividend is registrars, and they have to account for it. Then some of us also believe that they should not allow registrars to keep the money. Reasons best known to them, because they just feel that the registrars are making money from such money. No money should be allowed to be idle in any case. So, please get your registrars to give you a current position of unclaimed dividend. It is also important for us to note that every day that money reduces, people claim their dividend every day. The central bank is not helping issues on that. The central bank has failed to remit multinational dividend, and these are all calculated to be unclaimed dividends. So you see, when our fellow shareholders' money is taken away, we should show concern about it. Mr. Chairman, let me abridge my contribution that anywhere I am, like some of the leaders seated here, we have to educate our fellow shareholders as to ongoing in the capital market. And that's what I have done today, and to also inform the companies to be aware how it is going to affect you. So definitely we are working on that. Therefore today's issue, we have no choice, but I'm not very happy with it. But I have to also thank you, like the first speaker, because I know how you were running about to ensure that we get these investors to take the shares. We thank you for that effort, and I remain that it's unfortunate it's the regulators that have created these problems for us. We were very comfortable with the capital we had before. We were doing our business as it's supposed to be. We were also investing in other areas with the little profit that came into the business. Well, time will tell, Mr. Chairman, about the regulators. Time will surely tell. For all our shareholders, we want to thank you because we do not want to lose everything we have on us. So once again, thank you very much. And to fellow shareholders, thank you very much. I wish we would give them the needed support today. I mean, the election has already taken place through the process. All that we need to do is to hear the results. We cannot change anything any longer in respect of that. God bless mutual benefit. God bless Nigerian shareholders. Thank you very much.
Sequel to the increasing issuance of new insurance certificates. Secondly, for most of us who have investment in multi-corporate organizations, I will not deceive you, Mr. Chairman, the future of the insurance industry is not bright for indigenous insurance companies. The regulators are issuing certificates to banks that have foreign parents, who in turn, at the end of the day, will grab the market share through their synergies. You can imagine if you are competing with a foreign insurance company that has a bank as a parent. He has every synergy to beat other indigenous insurance companies. This is a fact that I want this board to take into cognizance and think about it. We are grateful to God today to have the investors agreeing to bid 54 at 54. But we must go back and meet these investors to assure them of regular dividend and to beg them for future reinvestment, because the battle in front for indigenous insurance company will be tough. I won't deceive you. The two earlier speakers I have given you important insight, but personally we should not rest on only this. Nigeria today is being ruled by politicians. I will not deceive you, Mr. Chairman. The best bet today is the Association of Insurance Managers and CEOs should form a team. Already you have that as Nigeria Insurance Association. Endeavor to lobby the Senate. That is the noble fact. You must endeavor to lobby the Senate with everything you have at your disposal, so that the Senate should issue legislation to increase the yields of this industry without any gainsaying. We should not deceive ourselves. It is only through legislation that insurance investment can go up. I won't deceive you. If we have legislation imposed on all sectors, that for every business you have, you must insure. For every asset you have, you must insure. Our yield will go up. These two things I mentioned is what our MD should be able to inform other managing directors of other insurance companies. Form a clique. Go and lobby the Senate. They are politicians, they need money. Let's not deceive ourselves. It is in hard time that you get the best of administrators. Don't deceive yourself. The man there as Commissioner of Insurance is there to read national cake, not to work for you or me. But if you are clever enough to lobby the Senate as a team, you won't get it. Without lobbying, you won't get the necessary legislation that will improve our lot. Thank you for the opportunity given. The name is William Shadiwari.
You know, every other company, they are running a healthcare now, trying to meet up with the capitalization. But here we are just here to move the resolution, and once we move it today, everything will be okay with our company. I'm so happy because by now, social benefits, we are no more in Egypt. We are about to cross the Red Sea, and I'm praying that by God's grace we are going to scale through. But I just want to give one advice. In this recognization, I want to advise us that we should try as much as possible to stand alone as a company. We should not look for any insurance company to merge or to acquire, because this will create a very big problem for us in the future. Those days when banks were capitalizing, most banks, they just come together, they didn't study each other very well, they didn't study the business very well, they just merge and acquire themselves. Few years the line, all those banks, they are nowhere to be found today. Most of them have run into serious problems. Some of them, they are still into the problem till now that they acquired during the recapitalization. So I want to encourage the board and management of Mutual Benefits to try their best and make sure that Mutual Benefits Assurance as the brand remain and stand alone. Thank you so much for giving me the privilege.
Mr. Chairman, I so much thank you. Actually, I so much thank you, the chairman and the entire board of directors of Mutual Benefits and all the management team for your great work, job done. Because it's not easy there to go out there in this country to get a good investor that will come and pick up our shares beyond 20 kobo, as 50 kobo, 54 kobo per share is a good job done. The only thing I will have to advise the management and the directors is that we should please and please please manage our resources very, very well. Remember the past, all sort of investment we have got ourselves into, like the time of we went into transformation of the team and made us to be where we are today now. Please, I will beg you, any investment we want to put our money, the money of investor into, please watch it very, very carefully. Very, very carefully, please. Think of the risks that is there in the business you want to venture into before going there, please. Please. So that what has done, what we have experienced in the past, we will to experience it again. And at least, by so doing, by investing our money in the right channel, I will be bringing more profit to us. We'll be able to continue to give a good dividend in the future. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you. The last person, please.
Board members, regulatory authority hereby present, my colleague, shareholders, good morning. My name is Matthew Akinlade, President of Nigerian Shareholders Solidarity Association. First of all, I want to appreciate the board and the management for taking the necessary step to recapitalize mutual benefit in accordance with the main demand of NICOM. There are a few issues relating to this. One, I appreciate the fact that the pricing is reflecting the inherent value of mutual benefit. We know the market price currently 20, 22, 24, and we are talking of 54 naira. I will say 54 rather. I will just say kudos to the board for really reflecting the inherent value of our business. I will admonish us to really look at our investment committee to be careful about how to utilize this money. We are having 4.8 billion that the business doesn't necessarily require, but by the demand of regulator, we have to raise it. So we have to ensure that investment committee work very well to ensure that we invest it where it will yield good results, so that investors will have dividend, their expectation will be met. People bringing out 2 billion, 2.8 billion, they have expectation. They are not giving the money to charity. They are expecting return. So we must be very careful about it. The second aspect, that even now that we have bigger capacity to take on big tickets, we have to be careful as to what, where and where we play, and how much we reinsure to ensure that we spread risk. For instance, I know that oil and gas can be volatile. You can make big money there, but if one is greedy and you are tilted to that area and the risk manifests, it could be big disaster if they are holding so much percentage of it. So let's be careful about that. The last I want to mention is the issue of free floats. With these two investors coming in, who are probably part of the whole investors, and they be part of the majority shareholders, are we still going to be able to maintain the free float of 20%? And if you are not going to be able to maintain the free float of 20%. What is the ultimate plan of the company? Is it to exit the capital market and run as a private company? Thank you so much. I wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you, shareholders. Let me just respond briefly to all the comments. We thank all the speakers. Raise capital. We are under the law. Capital is what we are raising now. So we really don't have any choice. If you follow my interviews, right from the moment they said they are raising capital, I still say it tomorrow and against it. But the regulator say raise capital, and we are left with no choice than to raise the capital. That's exactly what we are doing today. Number two, the comment that foreign investors are coming in to invest is not far-fetched. We're actually transferring the indigenous insurance industry to the foreigners. They are buying us for the face value of it, not the intrinsic value that has been created by each company. Can you imagine mutual benefit going for 21 kobo? For all the foreign investors who are willing to come, who actually will have signed MOU, you can imagine. Mutual benefit is worth over, say, between 80 and 100 million naira today, billion naira today. Yes, somebody wants to come in, but that is the environment they have created. So, but we thank God that we are not falling into that. We have existing shareholders who are willing to take it, who have invested. And let me announce to you, on the issue of free float, we have discussed it. We are not leaving the capital market. Take it as a statement from me and the board. Charles LLC, they invested in 2006. They are actually investors who are there for the long term. Otherwise, they will have sold. You know, mutual bank went to 620 kobo at a time. So if you are actually for the short period or for the short term, you would have actually exited. So when they are there, we approached them and they dutifully acceded to our request. For the free float, they were not leaving the capital market. And once everything falls in line, I can assure you they will make the shares available. But just imagine if they buy at 54 kobo, the least you can get it when they want to offload it at least 54 kobo. But we believe that we have good business to support what we are doing. As for the investment, it is tons of money you don't need. And the investment climate is totally unpredictable now. Give a UBA or 10 billion naira, I think they'll give you 0.25. But we're conscious of all this and we're going to take necessary actions. That's the area of utilization. Ladies and gentlemen, can we go on with the resolution? I believe all questions have been asked and we can go on with the resolutions. Thank you. So the first one, pursuant to Article 35 of Article Association, the current share capital of the company be and have increased from 10 billion naira to 10 billion 50 million by the creation of 100 million shares, 100 million additional ordinary shares of over each, ranking pari passu in all respects with the existing ordinary shares of the company. Can I call the shareholder to move? The woman, please.
Ayodele Kudaisi.
Ajay Robert Ibe, second that motion.
If you are against it,
Nobody. Shareholders are processed together, representing 3 billion, 6 billion, 548,622 units. All the shareholders are processed voted for. There is no vote against and there is no abstention. Thank you.
So agenda is to empower the directors to raise additional capital via the issue of debt, equity or combination of both, private placement, etc. I now invite the shareholder to move.
My name is Evangelist Abdullah Suarez. I move.
The sector. Okay.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Ifekwe Robert Adenova, I stand to second that motion. Thank you.
May I call on the registrar? Okay, registrar.
For the second resolution, to authorize the directors to raise additional capital, we have 630 shareholders and proxies representing or having 6,548,505,622 units of shares. All shareholders and proxies voted for this resolution. There is no vote against and there is no abstention. Thank you.
Thank you. I need to amend the members of the company to reflect the new authorized share capital. I invite the shareholder to move that the existing memorandum and articles of association of the company be and hereby amended as follows. Clause 6 of the memorandum and clause 5 of the articles of association be altered by deleting the word. Share capital of the company is 10 billion divided into 20 billion ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, and substituting with the share capital of the company is 10 billion and 50 million divided into 20 billion 100 million ordinary shares of 50 kobo each. The shareholder to move. The woman.
Zalaja Salata Iyabode Baduku.
Second? Yeah?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I like to second the motion. The name still remains Mrs. E.O. Obide.
Those in favor? Those against? Register, please.
The members, we have 630 shareholders and proxies having 6,548,505,622 units of shares voting for this resolution. There is no vote against and there is no abstention. Thank you.
So I become the non-executive director. Item 4. At this point, because I'm an interested party, I will ask the managing director to take over the proceeding, please.
Thank you, sir. Item 4. The item is to authorize directors to raise additional capital of 4.8 billion by way of private placement. The chairman in his opening remarks has given us the background, which I did on the behalf, and why we need to do this. I now invite...
Sorry, MD, sorry. I am just deeply surprised as how this...
Can you give him the microphone?
To move that the directors be and are hereby authorized to raise additional capital of 4,800,000,000 by way of private placements of the ordinary shares of the company. A shareholders move.
Acting Chairman, the name is Prince Dr. Anthony Bo Omojola. I do raise the motion. Thank you.
My name is Eki Chibuzo Emmanuel, General Secretary, Independent Shareholders Association.
Second the motion.
Thank you.
What do you do now? What do you do?
I second the motion.
Thank you.
Everybody.
All right. Thank you. And close again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution to raise, to authorize directors to raise additional 4.8 billion, we have 630 shareholders and proxies having 6,548,505,622 units of shares. All voted for this resolution. There was no vote against and there is no abstention. Thank you.
To formally approve the details of the private placements, I invite the shareholder to move that subject to obtaining the regulatory approvals, the private placement shall be by way of sale of 8,888,888,889 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each of the company at the rate of 54 kobo per share as follows. I name the shareholders. Number 1, Charles Enterprise LLC, unit 5,331,044,445, amounting to 2,878,764,024 kobo. The second investor, Arubiri Farms Limited, unit 3,557,844,444 units, and in amount 1,921,235,999 naira 76 kobo, totaling 8,888,888,889 kobo. Units, and the amount of 4,800,000,000. So I call the shareholder to move the motion. We need to move this way. I still move. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Seconder, I have a protest.
Promoting the my name, I second the motion.
All right, thank you. So, the registrar.
Additional capital subject to regulatory approvals. We have 630 shareholders and proxies having 6,548,505,622 units of shares voting for this resolution. There is no vote against and there is no abstention. Thank you.
Thank you. I declare the resolution power the directors to do all that is required and carry into effect resolutions passed, including appointment of parties and professional advisors, and enter into agreements necessary to accomplish our objectives. I hereby invite the shareholder to move.
Mr. Chairman,
thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Dr. Moses Ajaga. I still move. Thank you.
Registrar, please.
To authorize the directors to take steps that is required to give effect to the above resolutions. We have 630 shareholders and proxies having 6,548,505,622 units of shares voting for this resolution. There was no vote against and there is no abstention. Thank you.
Thank you. I declare the resolution passed. And now I hand over the mic back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now concluded the extraordinary general meeting, and I would like to thank you all on behalf of my colleagues on the board for attending this meeting and for showing much interest in the affairs of your company. I wish you safe journey back to your respective homes. I now declare the meeting closed. Can we have somebody volunteer for opening prayer and the closing prayer? In a Muslim place. Any Muslim in the house? Okay, before Elijah, sorry, Elijah.
We are praying today. Almighty Allah, save every one of us back to our destination and be with every one of us. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmani Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amin. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthara. Fasalli rabbika wanhar. Inna shani'aka huwal abtar. La hawla ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Amen.